Good evening. Hello, everyone.
Good evening, Lorelei. How are you this evening?
How are you?
I'm fine.
Oh, I'm great. I was at the beach again yesterday. Oh, the weather here is just amazing. I mean, so nice and sunny. So many beautiful birds. And today I saw that star that you see in the sea. So it was actually walking like all over the place. Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, it's like it's better and better. I don't know.
A
Yeah.
sea star. Oh.
Yeah, yeah, he's just like running all over the place. But I put her back in the sea because
Yeah,
you need
I think we
to.
call that a starfish.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's
That's
like
all the toil.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was one on the beach, and I put it back in the sea. So how are things there?
Right.
How's the weather?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Great.
wanted to.
Just one question before we start. Um,
Um,
the
yeah.
picture seems a bit strange at my end.
Which picture?
The picture on the screen. Yeah.
Okay. Which
Um,
one? Me?
no, me actually.
Oh, why?
Um, do I look okay on your screen?
Yeah, everything
Yeah.
is fine. I don't.
Okay, well, I'll leave it like that, and hopefully, this is very strange, but
Yeah.
hopefully in the recording it will come out okay.
Yeah.
But I look a bit flat and fat, in fact, yeah, which is
No, you don't. I
okay.
think you look
That's
as
fine.
usual. I don't see any difference from before. I don't see
That's
anything.
good. That's good.
Maybe the light it's a little bit but I can see you. I mean, it's not like a
Okay.
problem or something.
Okay. Well, in that case, I shall leave it as it is,
Yeah,
and we'll see how it comes out. Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
right,
But I noticed as soon as I clicked on that there was a little problem with it. So
right.
yes, okay. So yeah, over here it's great. Yeah, it's spring. Yes.
Yeah.
You remember Enigma said that in the winter, yes, there's
Sorry,
only
I can't help you. Somebody draw a UFO child here or a rose. I don't know. It's not a tattoo, everyone. It's okay. Because I just saw it now on the camera. I was like, okay, it looks like a tattoo, but it's not. It's actually a drawing. Yeah, we were playing a lot with kids these days. I mean, it was crazy in the park, because there's a giant park at the beach there, and yeah, it was great.
uh,
So, yeah, for me, the last meeting was great. It was like a wake up call. Um, and, I still have a lot of things to process. And that's what I wanted to say. I think it will take a lot of time to, process everything. And I still need some time. So, well, it takes time. Like this kind of process usually takes time. So, yeah, hopefully it will be fast, but it's
okay,
only for our good. I mean, for our best. Yeah. I just
okay.
hope like everything will be better
Did you get the link? I mean, did you
for
watch the
tomorrow.
recording? Did
Yes,
you watch the recording?
yes, and it's great that I can watch the recording because yeah, I need to listen again to
Yeah.
yeah process everything. Yeah,
It,
yeah.
on a scale 1 to 10,
Mhm.
what would you say your understanding of the language, the English language used?
Oh, 10, of course. I understand everything. There's no problem about the understand. It's about putting in practice what we learn. That's the problem because it's so hard. I mean, you have to think about yourself, what's best for you, but you start to see the results, but not immediately, but pretty fast. I mean, to me, it's working very good. I mean, I don't have a problem with that, but I still need to advance even more. So yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Like, is it taking you a long time to work on things, or did
Well,
it take you? a long time.
I remember when I was 21, yes,
Okay.
and we were in a group in Bristol, in
Yeah.
England, and one of the ladies there was a teacher. I mean, she was a bit older than me. I think she was about 34 or something like that. Yes. And I remember she said to the group, she said, I'm going to give this 3 years. Yes.
Oh, why?
And I, you know, she made a contract with herself to do 3 years of studies. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
so like you would do in a university. Yes.
Right.
Yes. Like 3 years is like degree
Yeah.
level, and that was the contract she made with herself. I was thinking at that time, I thought, no, I want to go. I want to do this for 10 years. Yes. You
Okay.
know, get
So you
sort of PhD level. I
yeah.
mean, however, things didn't go the way I really wanted them
Well,
to.
that's what I wanted to say. You don't have to look at it that way because if you compare like what we are dealing with here at Kane University, they usually give you like a good grade, like a little bit of drug, like a little bit of honey in your milk, a glass of milk or milk, and then the milk is gone. If you still want to have some, then you have to do 10 more years. It's like that, the way they,
Yeah,
I mean, do you feel the same? I mean, it's hard to say like, oh, I'm gonna give it 3 or 10 years, but you have to be realistic at some point. If this affects you, especially your health or your relationship with the others, um, yeah, you should definitely stop that because you're
yeah,
not happy, and there are so many universities out there. So,
yeah. Well, as it turned out, my first engagement turned out to be for about 2 years.
okay.
Yes, but what I recommend for people that are on the spiritual journey, on my spiritual journey,
Mhm.
I recommend that they do at least a month of Vercel to see a bigger picture. Yes.
I think I want to do this forever, not just a moment. Let's just hope that we are all in good health so that we can meet and, enjoy the wonderful time together.
Right. Well, one of the things that he talked about, which I found very interesting, I mean, there were just so many interesting points, but he talked about the mismanufacture of life by the culture
Yeah.
over thousands of years. Yeah, we're not talking about, just over the past 100 years, but over thousands and thousands of years. Yeah. And don't forget, our culture goes back way back, well over 30,000 years, well over 60,000. In fact, it goes back a long, long way. Yes.
Yeah.
And he talks about this mismanagement appearing now as a monster, a gigantic monster. Yes. Do you
Oh,
remember that part?
I do. Yeah, but I want to watch it
Yeah.
again someday. Hopefully.
So that he said, in his opinion, that was the view he had of the culture that we live in.
Yeah, I remember that part. It
Now,
was so beautiful.
so when he said that, I thought immediately of this card. Yeah, you have
Oh,
these cards.
yeah.
This is the Green Man card.
Mm.
Yes. And as you can see, there are two people here, 1, 2, a man and a woman holding on to an iron ring. Yes. Now we call that the iron ring of ignorance. Yes, which means that they only see the culture. Yes, they only see the physical life. They only see they only see what they can gain from it. Yes, that's all they see. Yes?
Yeah.
And that culture occupies their whole life. Yes, they work those 40 hours. They and after work they have to do all the paperwork and all the maintenance for the culture. Yes, they have to do all the paperwork for the car, for the house, to get ahead for the career. Yes, career studies, and it's all dedicated towards the culture.
Right.
Yeah, and the culture. There were some good things about the culture, but the one thing that you will find is that it can take over your life, and as he said in the meeting, what was it he said? The culture has no life. The culture doesn't have a life, but it has a life through you. Yes, that's the only life it has. It takes over your life.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's the only life it has. So people can celebrate the culture and everything, but that's the culture living through them. Yes?
Right.
It's a hard thing to realize what's going on. But he also mentioned that he started off with the words "who owns you," yes, and then he talked about aliens, yes.
Wow, that's a great topic also.
So he talks about, from my research, the this humanity that we live in today is a genetic experience, a genetic experiment by alien forces. Yes, and there are some bad ones and there are some good ones. Yes, and that's what's behind it all. When he said, "Who owns you?" Yes, but more than that, and this now goes into the back into the spiritual journey that we're on.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that takes over your life is the legal life that you live.
Right.
Yes, everything has got to be legal.
So from where do you think he took this idea? Because this is a very interesting concept. I already met this concept in Scientology, where there are two, I mean, there's bad aliens that you know, for the people who don't do the cleaning once they join the Scientology. So do you think that this is the same theory from Relon Hubbard, or where do you think this idea is coming from?
I have little idea of what Hubbard did. Yeah.
Oh, I think all his works.
Yeah.
Well, basically, it's a lot of cleaning process. You have to do like 4 hours of sauna, taking a lot of vitamins and omega oils, and you have to do this for like a week. You also have to do some running, and that's it. You basically read these books, and then you are clean, and you are basically, you know, good enough to have a normal life. Well, I didn't do these things. I just read the books because I was really, you know, at a point right before I joined the psychology, actually. This is one of the reasons that I decided to choose psychology, because I met so many girls that back then that were doing Scientology, and they were, well, they kind of have a breakdown, you know, they were not okay. Like I saw they were cutting the connections with their families. So I wanted to see what this is all about. I wanted to study more. I didn't realize that I was actually passionate about it. So this is how I decided to study Scientology, because you were asking like why. Um, well, I didn't find the answer to that. Like, why do people, you know, join this kind of group like Scientology or whatever? But I did manage to find, you know, a healthy lifestyle in this book. It's called Dianetics something more, and basically all the centers are called Dianetic centers on the ones that we can still find in Europe. I don't know if they're still here in Europe, but they are in the United States for sure. So yeah, I did the reading of these books, and I know that this is kind of the same concept. Do you think he's referring to the work of Elon Hubbard, or is it something else? You don't know. Maybe we will ask that next time. I will ask that next time.
Well, you've
That
got
would be interesting. I mean,
you've
yeah.
got to remember that Orman created these cards
Right.
back in the 70s.
Mm.
And he put them together through his own work. So I doubt if it came from Hubbard. Yes, it came from studying the laws and applying them.
Right.
Yeah, in the way he did. In fact, he's still working on creating the tarot cards. Yes.
Okay.
In like I say, in the 70s, he created.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, sorry for interrupting. It's not a bad thing because you have to take what is best from all these ingredients if you want. It's like a recipe that you have to apply it in your daily basis. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not a bad thing what I said. You don't have to justify like, oh, it's like, yeah, it's great, but do you think it's coming from there? Because this is the same concept that I met in that book. That's what I mean. Do you understand?
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Okay. Well, you said you took all these cleaning agencies things to purify your body.
Well, this is for people who decide to join Scientology, I believe.
Yeah.
If you want to read a Elon Hubbard book and apply this kind of healthy lifestyle, then you don't necessarily have to like pay £3,000 to do all the cleaning and join Scientology church, and because that's a lot of they'll bring a lot of changes in your life afterwards. So yeah, you need to take what's best from everything, I think, from the literature point of view.
Well, there's no drugs or any vitamins that you've got to take.
Oh,
even on the spiritual journey. What does happen? What does happen? And he also talked a bit about this in the last meeting. Is it's a do-it-yourself idea?
It's about what I was referring to. It's not about the vitamins. Sorry for interrupting. It's about the two aliens idea. Because it's Scientology that I read. So the bad alien is called Xenu. It's Xenu. Okay, in Scientology, and the good one, I don't know. I think basically all the people who decide to join, I think, this healthy lifestyle, then they are not, affected by Xenu, basically. So yeah.
Well, okay. Let's simplify it. On the spiritual journey, and also in Vercel, the main ingredient that you need to take, yes, is what do we call it? It's a mental alchemy. Yes, it's turning your lead into gold. It's a mental process that flushes out your the lower aspects, the lower metals, if you like. Yes. Now, one of the things that they do recommend that you take it if you have an illness, and I've watched a lot of this on YouTube, is that there's something called silver that you can eat. Yeah.
Right. The small liquid that we take like every day. I do take that, and it's really good. It's really
Right.
hard. For cleaning as well, because we were talking about cleaning
Right.
and like.
Okay. But here on the spiritual journey, part of it, part of the mental alchemy is creating your own silver and fleshing yourself out. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So it's a
So
lot more pure and a lot more amazing and greater than the Scientology church. Okay.
yeah. So in that mental alchemy, you flesh yourself out.
Right.
Yes.
Well,
Obviously.
everyone heard now, so
Huh?
everyone heard now, so yeah, it's even greater than.
Yeah.
It's amazing for me. It's great.
Okay. And like I said, that is the culture we live in today. Yes, this great big monster, yeah, takes over our life. Yeah.
It's pretty much what happens now in our daily basis, don't you think so? I think
Yeah.
it's not just a metaphor. I think it actually represents our reality, everyone.
Well,
I don't know what you think, but
yeah, well,
yeah.
it does have an occult aspect. Yeah, there are occult influences that are involved, but like you say, it's an idea that you hold on to that job, you hold on to that physical life. Yes, you want to get that speedboat, you want to get the next holiday, you want to get onto the beach and do some sunbathing. Yeah, you want to turn into a daisy.
You want to have a tour of Europe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, yeah. I mean, there's a lot I could say about that, but perhaps I should leave that for another time. Now, I believe he talked about the astral light and the ethereal light.
Well,
the ethereal domain. Sorry.
We are still thinking even after. So, I mean, we have another appointment tomorrow, everyone, and we will discuss more. But we are still thinking about the previous one. We didn't finish. So that's what's great. I mean, you don't feel like doing just 1 month, like I said in the beginning of our conversation, our meeting today. You feel like doing this forever. It's like an addiction, you know? I mean, an addiction. I don't know.
Well,
how should I describe it? It's like you are living in closed doors for long, and then all of a sudden you're going in a garden and you see so many beautiful plants and flowers. So that's how you feel, you know. It's regenerating, I would say.
Yeah, that
you listen to it and you apply it.
That's definitely one way to look at it.
Think about it. Yeah.
Another way to look at it is you've been starving for years, yes, because you're holding on just to this level of things, yes, just holding on to that, and so you are starving.
But you don't know you are starving. That's the point.
In an esoteric, occult, and spiritual manner, you're just starving. And so when you meet something like this, it's like the table of plenty, and you've got all this food, and you think, wow, yeah, I can really, I can now eat every day,
yeah,
well, and do some work to produce more food. That is good for me. Right. That's the DIY aspect. Is that yes, it's a table of plenty that you're seeing, but also you will learn how to make your own table and replenish your own table. Yes. Indeed. And it's all about becoming free and independent. Yes. Okay.
Wow. We are so lucky for experiencing in this life such things, and I really hope that we will have more people who decide to join us and be as free as we are.
Okay, look, I've got to stop the meeting now. It's been
Okay.
wonderful talking to you again.
It's wonderful to talk to you too. Good to
Yeah.
know. Fine.
Did you get a link for the next meeting?
Yeah, and I also saw you. I wanted to say on first month, but that's another story for another time, hopefully.
Well, we can talk after. We can talk after. Don't go away.
Right, right,
Yeah.
okay.
I
Well,
shall,
thank you for
we'll say
watching.
goodbye here. We'll say
Happy
goodbye
birthday,
here.
Aries, and have a wonderful week, everyone. Bye bye. See you next
Okay.
time. Until
Okay.
next
Bye,
time. Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Right. Okay. So.